So we'll move on to another story that has is kind of playing itself out publicly, and that is the ongoing issues between Karl Anderson and New Japan. Which, if you look at it from like the way Karl Anderson is playing it, like it certainly feels as though he is, playing along with this story. But this was after New Japan had put out a statement on Tuesday evening, stating that New Japan has, for the past several days, attempted to negotiate with Anderson, but has not been met with a response. Should Anderson decide to renege on his scheduled championship match, he will be required to vacate the Never Openweight Championship and return the title belt to New Japan immediately. You have Hikuleo cutting promos that he doesn't want the title vacated. He wants to beat Karl Anderson. And then Fightful is reporting that there still and always have been active plans for Karl Anderson to compete in New Japan. We have not heard an update on the title itself, but that New Japan does expect Anderson to fulfill additional dates, which WWE was fine with, adding that New Japan was aware, going as far back as August, that Anderson and Gallows were going to WWE, and stating that the situation and things are fine with Anderson, New Japan, and WWE. My overall question is, like, what is in this? First of all, this is very unlike New Japan to be promoting something that they cannot deliver. Number two, it's like, what is the value of pushing this whole thing? Like, no disrespect to Karl Anderson, but it's like, this guy is with WWE. It's like, we're moving on, you know what I mean? And it just feels like we're having this story that, this match is not going to take place on November 5th. Could it happen at some other card? I guess it's possible. I think New Japan very much believes it's going to happen on another card. I'm sure you will have people speculating about these New York shows this week that New Japan is running about, Karl Anderson maybe showing up and dropping the title. But it just seems to me that it's like New Japan is like, you've got Obari going in Tokyo Sports and talking about this. And it just seems to me like it's just very off brand for New Japan to be putting just so much energy into this story, rather than just, okay, we didn't have this guy under contract. Let's just move on and focus on the talent that we do have under deals. Instead of, like, I just think New Japan comes out of this just looking really poorly, no matter how this ends.
My feeling is that, they probably booked Karl Anderson in this match, not expecting that WWE would also be booking him on a show on the same day. They probably expected him to be able to make this date, whether or not he was signed to the WWE. And at this point, I sense it's just them trying to kind of save face by ultimately, eventually promote having the match take place kind of within their promotion, rather than just, letting go of the situation and kind of looking bad coming out of it. They seem to be confident that this match is going to happen at some point. And how they get to that story, it seems like they might have to jump through some of their own hoops and contradict some of their own, previous sort of rules in order to get there. But they seem rather confident. I'm in agreement that, like, ultimately we're talking about a Karl Anderson match here for the Never Open World Championship that, like, who cares, right? But I do get the sense it's more about, like, not wanting to look bad at this point.
Yeah, I think that this is kind of a mix of, like, being on different pages. They may have a belief that this match is going to happen. I will, I think for Karl Anderson's sake, he should absolutely do this match and drop this title. But at the same time, if I was WWE, I wouldn't be bending over backwards if I've got this guy under a deal and I don't have to send you to do this match.
Exactly.
It just seems like it's just like the continuing to advertise this match for November 5th when he's being advertised for another show in another part of the world that same day. It's very unlike New Japan. Like, this seems like something that, yeah, here in North America, you would see this kind of thing. But New Japan, it's like they do have a certain credibility in that country when it comes to how they promote things, how they treat talent missing shows and such. And this just seems to be it just seems to be a mess of a situation that if they believe that it's some grand payoff, if they can pull this off, I think they are sorely mistaken about the juice not being anywhere near worth the squeeze of this this whole title change and getting this match in the ring.
and just piggybacking off of that, what you just said, John, like I think that there are maybe some like higher ups in New Japan who may be liking the buzz that they're getting from this, and playing into the whole, or we tried to contact Carl Anderson, and it's been difficult, getting to reach him and stuff like that. Like when I'm first of all, like with New Japan, like honestly, like they're way too big of a company to be like letting people hold their championships and be running around without a contract, like something outside of a handshake deal or a verbal agreement. Like this dude is like literally holding one of your championships. You would think you would at least have him under some type of deal. Like I mean, especially like you've seen multiple people pointed out that they've dipped out on New Japan before, and like you got them working with them again. You came back and working with them again, and they ultimately ended up signing with WWE, and they've known this since. Well, you said the Fight report know that they've known this since August. I mean, I know the storyline eventually had to play out, with Hikuleo, realigning with Tama Tonga, and the part in Bullet Club, but like I think once they eventually get to this point that Anderson drops the title, like I do think that eventually at some point down the line he'll drop the title. I don't think they're going to vacate it from him, but like whenever they do this, like I hope that it is that New Japan thinks whatever the outcome is worth it, because I just don't see like anything like beyond like this happening. Like it's like, do they think like a partnership is going to happen or some type of crossover is going to happen? I highly doubt that, or I would be surprised if that happened. But yeah, it's, I mean, like kind of like how Wade said, it's a Karl Anderson match, man. Like okay.
That's what we're building towards. Are we gonna get that Karl Anderson Hikuleo showdown that everyone is anticipating?